Hi everybody, Cheryl coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home. It is a beautiful mid-October day and I thought I would come out and do a little bit of harvesting, so I hope you join me. So this is right around the time, mid-October, that they tell us we're supposed to expect our first frosts, on average. On average, since I've been living on this property for the last 5 years, we really haven't had frost before at least November. There's been times when it's been not until December. So I'm going to let everything keep going. I know a lot of people are starting to clean up their gardens and that kind of stuff, but I have so much still left in the ground. And if I can get a couple of weeks, I did check the next 2 weeks up until Halloween. It's not showing there's going to be any kind of frost. So I'm just going to let them grow. I've got my harvest basket. I am going to be probably not filling up this entire thing. It's kind of big. But anyway, let's get started. In this bed here is all the peppers, and I have some that I think I'm going to harvest and some I'm going to keep and let them go get red. These here are serranos. And that one's ready. Those are still a little orange. I'm gonna wait on these. I do want them to get red. But the, let's see, the banana peppers, the yellow banana peppers, there's a little one. I can let that wait. I just harvested a whole bunch. Now I've got green beans growing up this wall of green beans here, but some of them have snuck onto the peppers, so I just got myself a green bean. These two plants here are pepperoncinis, and I've had a lot of success this year so far. And what I've been doing is picking them pretty small and making vinegar peppers out of them. I know they're very tiny, but I kind of like them that way. Let's come over here and see if there are any eggplant ready. Oop, well, it's still pretty small. I don't know if you can tell size-wise. That one's kind of small too. I finally got a loofah growing, and it's taken a while. These do take a long time, I think. But I'm going to let that go brown and really, dry on the vine. Well, for as long as I can before the frost. Here's some St. John's wort. I'm just going to take a little bit and dry it and make some tea out of it. It's a good mood enhancer. A lot of people say it's like a natural antidepressant. So, as things get a little depressing during the winter, I'll have some. But as you can see, there's a lot of new growth just starting. I'm going to harvest right above where I see kind of some new vigorous growth. I'm going to take a little bit of the celery. Mine does not grow very thick, but that's okay because it does grow very flavorfully. It's very, very flavorful, almost much more flavorful than the water-soaked kind that you get in the supermarket. So I just need a little, and I just chop it up and I throw it into soups. Here's something interesting, and I'm not going to harvest it right now, but I noticed that if you leave the bulb in when you harvest some fennel, like usually I harvest for the leaves, which I don't need because I have plenty, they continue to regrow and resprout. That's pretty cool. I may never have to plant fennel again. I have some tomatoes that are finally ready. These could probably ripen a little bit more, but I'm going to take these in and I just let them, when they're this blushed up, it'll only take about 2 days for them to completely ripen, and I don't feel that you lose a lot of flavor doing this. Ooh, we have a little cat-faced one. That's pretty cool. These German striper over here could probably ripen up a few more days, but I noticed they're getting a little soft. So I'm going to bring these inside too. Actually, I think I'm going to keep that one on and just take this one inside. This one's a little harder. What else can we get to in this bed? Here's some beets. These were kind of hidden behind the calendula, and looks like it's all beet head and not much else. Oh, tiny, tiny, tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. But I'll pickle them and do something with the beet leaves too. They're quite tasty. The sweet potatoes are not ready yet, mainly because common wisdom says you leave them in as long as you possibly can before the first frost. So that's what I'm going to do. Got a nice bunch of jalapenos ready to be picked. We'll get to that. I'm taking them about this size, but I'm leaving others on to grow. Somebody's been having some fun digging through my potato bags, and this was an experiment this year because I really don't have good space for long-term storage, so I thought I would leave them in the ground after they grew and died back, you know, in the middle of the summer. But what happened was some of them started sprouting again. So I'm going to be harvesting some potatoes today. Okay, let's see what we got. This is just some stuff I used for mulch, that core, that coconut type core. Okay, here we got little tiny one. All right, good stew size. Little tiny ones, also good for soups. Let's see if we, ooh, hey, that's a nice one. It's a good size for me for a baked potato or two. These were just russet potatoes, organic from the supermarket, that I chitted, in other words, let sprout, and then I planted, and I planted these back in April, I think. Yeah, I think it was April. So all of my tags are gone now. Some people dump their grow bags onto a tarp of some kind and then freshen up the soil and use it again next year. I just dig around, and then if some come up wild next year, oh, look at that, that's nice, right? And then if some of them come in wild and kind of self-seed themselves, well, I don't have a problem with that because I'm growing potatoes here. I'll reuse this. I'm going to use it as mulch to hopefully keep my fig tree warm this winter. It's going to be its first winter outside. Like a big tree. It's a fig named Sue. Okay, not bad for one grow bag. Most of this corn I got a couple of weeks ago out of here, and I froze it actually. Again, I don't know if it was the variety. I say again because this happened to me the last time I grew corn. Or maybe my soil's not right enough for it, but they were very small. But this is pretty dry. I'm just going to let it for the squirrels. They'll come and eat this. The ones that I brought in couple of weeks ago were much better looking than that. In the green stalk here, the tomatoes are starting to make a comeback. These are the little sweet pea tomatoes. They're kind of orange, but I just wanted to show you the chard. The chard looks just about time to harvest. But I'm going to wait because I'm going to make soup with it, and I'm not going to make the soup tonight. Yesterday I harvested some of my herbs. I got a bunch of basil in, I've got thyme, and then some rosemary and sage. And I'm going to dry them here for a little while, and then I'm going to transfer them to a brown paper bag. And if you want to see my full video called Save the Herbs, I'll link it at the end of this particular video. That's my my little harvest basket for the evening. Okay, well that's not too bad of a haul for a quick evening turn in the garden. Going to be putting these on the shelf. I'm going to be freezing these for my son. I'm going to be drying these. I'm going to be chopping up these and freezing them. These I'm probably going to eat raw while I'm making dinner. The potatoes I'm going to put inside on a shelf with a burlap over it to let it dry. I did that with my last batch of potatoes, and then after, you know, they had kind of been under the burlap for a couple of days, I moved them into just a brown paper bag, and that seemed to be fine as far as curing it for storage. And the beets I'm going to pickle. I'll probably pickle them up with some of the pepperoncinis. It doesn't seem like dusk sticks around very long anymore, so I'm going to head on inside soon. But I wanted to thank you for joining me in the garden today, and I wanted to ask you, if you don't already, to please subscribe, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, or hit the like button, whatever they call it. And also at the end of this video, if you follow me, you know, my lovely lady, my dog, passed back last winter, but this garden and this channel was named after her. So at the end of each video, I'm going to give you a little clip of what we were doing last year or the year before around this time. So I hope you stay to the end, and from the Ladies Garden and Home, enjoy your gardening journey. Bye!